So guys, I have a very big problem with so many people who are opening non-profits now, NGOs or community-based organizations. I also have a lot of problem with young people who call themselves CEOs or who call themselves, I don't know what they call themselves, but like CEOs, you are in a managerial position. Now, what is my problem with this group of people, especially that are resident in Africa? Now, I have over 10 years of community development experience. I have not founded any non-profit per se, but I have been in managerial positions. So I have worked in over 26 states in Nigeria. I've worked in the United States. I've also worked in the UK. I've also worked for an organization in Kenya. So I know what exactly I'm saying. And this is what I am saying. If you think that taking photographs of children, young people in those communities you visit, you go once every month, you go twice every month, and then you come to social media and post those photos and you say that you've been able to do this intervention or that intervention, and before we hear you again is maybe 2 months after. Or you put your organization as a front in your church, in your mosques, you just keep calling people around you to intervene in some of the projects, financially of course, in some of the projects that you are handling. And then you keep going back to that community, keep using the same children or keep using the same young people over and over again to either ask for funds, to either show yourself capable of leading those communities. Then I don't think you are even creating impact. Now, if you are creating impact, your plan should be, when you go to a community at first and take those photographs, your job is to make sure that you implement, after that program, you implement strategies to take those children, to take that young person or those young persons out of poverty in that community or out of the situation you found them 2 years ago. You cannot keep going to a particular community and use the young people or children there as guinea pig for your projects or for your financial benefits. This is totally wrong. And if you call yourself a CEO, you are not registering yourself for any mentorship section. You are not applying for opportunities to have the feeling of what it means to be rejected in those opportunities so that you can become better in your organization. You are the CEO, but you do not take yourself down to learn from people who have been there before you. Let's use, for example, say you are a CEO of a brand that bakes cakes. You are the CEO of that brand. Everybody knows that. But you don't get to talk about those that you are working with. Nobody knows your team members. Nobody knows where your office is. Nobody knows if you are NAFDAC approved. Nobody knows about your processes. Nobody knows about what your numbers are. You haven't applied for a grant to scale the impact of your business, maybe to provide services for people. And that means that you become a social entrepreneur. Okay, so when you call this is an example I'm using. So when you call yourself a CEO or a co-founder, or you call yourself a founder of a non-profit, the idea should be to get impact. The idea should be to scale the impact of your project. Don't keep regurgitating the same thing over and over again with the idea of using your position or title or whatever thing you're doing for personal or self-aggrandizement. This is very, very critical, and I felt I needed to say this because we have a growing continent, a continent that should be focusing on not just what the funders are saying most of the time, but what is the scale of our impact. I'm saying this with all passion because I've seen this over and over again. Young people should learn how to scale the impact of whatever they are doing. So if you have been successful in community A, reach out to community B. And if you reach out to community B, go to community C. And when you build this impact, you are now building a group of people who believe in your vision and mission. And so doing, you begin to build a community or a continent of people who trust and believe that you are up for their personal growth, for their empowerment, and ultimately for their success. So I beg you, for those who are founders of non-profit, those who are community-based, those who are in the community-based organizations, and those who are introducing one entrepreneurial or social enterprise in one country or the other, especially in Africa, please begin to ask yourself questions like, how can I scale the impact of what I am doing? How can another community benefit from what I am doing? And how can I change the lives of those communities? When you begin to target changing of lives, impact, then you begin to reach out to mentors, those who have been able to do what you want to do. Begin to volunteer to work with them. You begin to pay for their time. You begin to reach out to people better than you. You begin to apply for scholarship or programs so that you are able to network with those who are going to make your net worth in that organization to make sense, to be able to make sense to communities now and even in the future. There are so many words I would have loved to express in this regard, but I feel that just sharing this concern will help so many young people who need to be, they feel they need to be, what is the word? Self-sufficient. You don't need anybody. Yes, that's the word. They need to be self-sufficient, so they don't need anybody to grow. I beg you. I grew because I got mentored, and I got mentored because I was particular about helping other people. And that is the only way you can get the necessary funding in thousands and thousands of dollars. You can get people to trust you more. You can get communities reaching out for you genuinely for your transformative strategies. I hope you didn't get angry by sharing this. Okay, bye.